Donald J. Trump, born June 14, 1946, in Queens, New York, is a man who's been everything from a real estate mogul and reality TV star to President of the United States. Oh, and let's not forget Twitter enthusiast and a guy who can't resist putting his name on just about anything. We're talking buildings, stakes, water, universities. If it stands still long enough, Trump will slap a shiny Trump logo on it faster than you can say the art of the deal. Let's start with his origin story. He was born into wealth, like Bruce Wayne, but with real estate instead of a Batcave. His dad, Fred Trump, was a successful New York real estate developer. Young Donald wasn't one to sit back and enjoy his trust fund. Oh no, this was a man who was destined for bigger things, like Manhattan skyscrapers and, eventually, the Oval Office. But first, military school. Yup, Trump's parents sent him to the New York Military Academy when he was 13, hoping to curb his energetic behavior. Spoiler alert, it didn't quite work. After a stint at Fordham University, Trump transferred to Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. Why? Because Wharton's got that Ivy League cachet, and sounds fancier, obviously. Degree in hand, he returned to New York to work with his dad, but his eyes were set on the big time, Manhattan. And what did he do? He took over the family business, rebranded it with a subtle, humble name, the Trump Organization, and thus began his reign over Manhattan real estate, building luxurious towers like Trump Tower, which is probably as close to gold-plated as zoning laws allow. Now, not everything Trump touched turned to gold, even though it probably looked like it from the outside. Casinos, airlines, vodka, a football league, yeah, these were all things Trump tried. Casinos in Atlantic City? Bankrupt. Trump Airlines? Grounded. Trump vodka? Well, let's just say no one was raising a glass to that. But no matter how many business ventures went south, the man's confidence never wavered. That's one of his superpowers. Bounce-back ability, or as Trump might say, unbelievable, tremendous bounce-back ability. In 2004, Trump stumbled upon a new calling, reality TV. The Apprentice was a hit, partly because of Trump's catchphrase, "You're fired," delivered with the gravitas of a Shakespearean actor and the glee of a kid who just won Monopoly. And like any great showman, he loved being the center of attention. The show made Trump a household name again, and millions of Americans tuned in to watch people vie for a chance to work with the man himself. Fast forward to 2015, and Trump decided, you know what? I'm bored with real estate and reality TV. How about I become the leader of the free world? And thus began the most unconventional presidential campaign in modern history. When Trump came down that golden escalator in Trump Tower, he kicked off his campaign by delivering what can only be described as one of the most memorable and controversial campaign speeches ever. He promised to build a wall, drain a swamp, and make America great again. The rally cry, "Make America Great Again," took off like a rocket. Suddenly, Trump was everywhere. Debates, rallies, late-night talk shows, and his populist, anti-establishment message hit home with millions of voters who felt forgotten by the Washington elites. Nobody thought Trump would actually win the Republican nomination. He was up against seasoned politicians, but one by one, they fell to Trump's bombastic style and constant media attention. And then came the general election. Trump versus Hillary Clinton. A matchup that was more heated than your uncle's Thanksgiving rants about politics. On November 8, 2016, the world did a collective double-take. Donald Trump was elected the 45th President of the United States, despite losing the popular vote by nearly 3 million votes. If that's not the plot twist of the century, what is? As president, Trump shook up Washington, D.C. like a snow globe. On the domestic front, he passed a huge tax cut, rolled back regulations, and took a sledgehammer to Obama-era policies. Internationally, he met with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, who he described as a friend, after they exchanged insults that sounded more like playground taunts. Little Rocket Man? Anyone? He also pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accord and the Iran nuclear deal because, apparently, if there's a club, Trump doesn't want to be a part of it unless he's the one running it. But the Trump presidency wasn't without its, let's call them, hiccups. There was the Mueller investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election, which led to 2 years of headlines and memes, but no direct evidence of Trump-Russia collusion. And then came impeachment number 1. Trump was accused of trying to pressure Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden, which led to him becoming only the third president in U.S. history to be impeached. He was acquitted, of course, and in classic Trump fashion, declared it a perfect call. Now, if 2020 were a TV show, it would have been written by the wildest soap opera writers. COVID-19 hit, and Trump's response became a focal point of global debate. There were mask controversies, hydroxychloroquine endorsements, and press conferences where Trump suggested maybe injecting disinfectant could cure the virus. As if that wasn't enough, nationwide protests erupted after the murder of George Floyd, and Trump's handling of race relations became another flashpoint. Then came the 2020 election, where Trump faced off against Joe Biden. The result? Trump lost, but like everything in his life, he didn't go quietly. He claimed the election was rigged, a big lie, that led to the Capitol riot on January 6, 2021, when his supporters stormed the building in an attempt to overturn the election results. Trump was impeached again for inciting the insurrection, and, like before, he was acquitted. At this point, impeachment for Trump is like getting sent to the principal's office. You go through the motions, but you're back to business by lunch. Since leaving office, Donald Trump has remained a dominant figure in American politics. He continues to wield significant influence over the Republican Party. Despite his polarizing legacy, Trump's appeal among his base remains strong, with millions of supporters who see him as a champion of their values and beliefs. His rallies are still packed, and his base remains loyal. The man has reinvented himself more times than Madonna. Donald Trump's story is far from over. His influence on American politics, business, and culture will likely be felt for years to come. One thing is certain: Donald Trump's legacy will continue to shape the American landscape for generations to come. Donald Trump is a larger-than-life figure who changed the political landscape in ways that will be debated for years. Whether he's back in the White House or just hanging out at Mar-a-Lago, one thing is certain: the Trump Show isn't over yet. Thank you for listening to another episode of Loopholery, your go-to podcast channel for quick, witty, and insightful takes on random topics, all in 8 minutes or less. Whether we're diving into quirky facts, exploring weird loopholes, or just pondering life's strange questions, we keep it short, fun, and engaging. Perfect for curious minds on the go. Tune in, like, or subscribe, and get your fix of unpredictable knowledge bites.